Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, dish out on the movies. And today we are doing a review, or I think I'm doing a review and reading Marco's notes because he is feeling under the weather with his throat. And we're doing the 5th episode of The Penguin, which is called Homecoming. So, a lot of things happened in this show, and several people got killed. And we're leaving off with last week, if you recall, Sophia had killed all of her family. And in fact, she's exclaimed or proclaimed that she has killed off the family and they've become the Gigante family. And and Oz, well, we don't start off with that first, but the thing with Oz is, remember, he was supposed to get all those mushrooms and sell those, and it was going to be a big thing with the business. And, well, that really pretty much mostly fell through. First of all, he kidnapped the Maroney boy, and he was getting a tattoo, and he got him during there, so he was very what would you call it, vulnerable. And then his mother came. He called his mother and told him, and that's Nadia, that's the Iranian woman. She came to get him, and he looked weird. He had his hands cuffed behind his back, and then you find out at the end of the scene why he looked strange, and that is, she says, Oz says, okay, you can have them. I want those drugs, and she says, okay, and he gets them, but only after he reunites her son with his mother, and they and as she's going, what's all over you? Why do you look so weird? And he lights this match, and there's a trail of fuel on the ground, and he has doused him completely in fuel, and the line of fire goes up to him, and they both go up in flames. So that's Mrs. Maroney and the son. And what happens is he's killed that part of the business. It's just over. So then they get the mushrooms and they check it out, and I guess, I don't know if this was deliberate or just, they had to be in a very climate controlled place. And when they got them out, of course, that erased that. And there were only, out of a whole truckload of that stuff, they were all rotten and ruined and dead. And the only thing that was good was like 2 barrels full, small barrels. And so that is what they had to start off with. And he realizes, the Penguin does, that he's screwed. And so he meanwhile sent Victor to get his mother and take her to a hiding place, because he is going to be under attack by Sophia and her family. Of course, they're not together anymore, so to speak, because they're all dead almost. And he's also going to be under attack by Mr. Maroney, who's in prison. Okay, so he tells Victor to go hide his mother out, and they go to where Victor grew up in this apartment. And so they're there waiting. And so then we see Mr. Maroney, and he's in prison, and he gets attacked. And Penguin has set that up, of course. I mean, he wants the whole power, the whole shebang. He wants both families destroyed, and he's going to be the man. And so he sends somebody to kill Salvador Maroney, but it fails. But you don't see that right away. You find out later. And then we have Sophia. And Sophia has called, I guess, the remaining, like employees, and she also had had captured one of the Falcone guys. I think it was Johnny, and he's the one with the bald head. And she had got him to come. She had a fur coat. She put this on. She had this beautiful dress, and she had everybody meet in the meeting room. And they went around the table, and there was Johnny. She had let him go, and I guess it promised him he was going to be okay, and he was going to be a part of everything. I don't know. And then she says there's no longer any Falcone family. She wants to make up with the Maronis. And she said, they got all that work that you did for them. They really just screwed you over. And she had a bag of money and dumped it out all over the table. And everybody grabbed their share. And then the Johnny, who had just been rescued, he was all tied up in a cave and in a bad way. But now he was wearing a suit and everything. He objected, and she shot him in the head. And so everybody could see she was in control. So then I'm thinking all along here, like, I don't know what Penguin's doing. How could he have any control or power? Because Sophia hates him because she holds him responsible for being in Arkham. She even said that to Salvador. She found out where Salvador was hiding because he escaped. And she said, he betrayed me, and I went to Arkham because of him. She didn't, I don't think she said Oz at first. She just said, my driver. And we all know that he was her driver. And then, of course, she knew that Salvador's wife and son had been killed and that Penguin was responsible. So she asked him, why don't we unite together, and it'll be the Gigante family versus the Maronis. And you don't really hear what he says, but because he's grieving over his wife and son. And then you don't see anything more about her. So then you see Penguin. He goes and finds where Victor and his mother are, and he sees that Victor did take good care of her, that he has kept her safe. So he shows Victor at the end this underground subway that he and his brother, one of his brothers, used to go and hang out, and there's a generator and it turns on all the lights, and at the end of the episode he says this is going to be our new base of operations. And I'm thinking, how can it be a base of anything? They have nobody on their side. Where are they going to get? I mean, don't they have to have some kind of collusion of support from somebody? And they have two families, and like one's been decimated, and now it's the Gigante family, and the other one is the Maronis, and I don't know who's left of that besides the father. But still, they're mad at Oz. And I don't get how they're going to do a base of, I don't know what they're going to be operating, what they're going to be doing. If they have so many people against them. I mean, I just don't know how it's going to turn out. So anyway, we're going to have Marco's comments, which are much more about the quality of the episode. And he believed that this was a very good episode. It really was. And I agree with them because, I mean, they just show all these situations and how they're connecting up together. But personally, I just don't know how it's going to work out. And that therapist that they talked about, I think it was the last episode, maybe even the one before that, the one who treated Sophia in prison, and you're thinking maybe, are they having an affair, or are they supposed to be hooking up or something? Well, he comes in on the show, he just pops up and says, I've been looking for you, and he said, I know you killed all those members of your family. And so he's just hanging around her. He was even at that meeting in the room where she tells everybody that she killed all of her family. She's the one who did it. And he just doesn't say anything. He just looks at her. And then Oswald, Penguin, before he went in the final scene, before he went to see if Victor and his mother were okay, if they were safe, he had gone to his girlfriend. Remember, he has this girlfriend, so to speak, and he assumes that she's going to go with him and go hide out with he and his mother and Victor. And she said, no, I'm not going with you. And he's furious and he throws things. But then he ends up leaving, and I'm not really sure why she didn't want to go. I guess she just was never intending on doing that in the first place. I don't know. Maybe Marco knows, but since he can't talk, I can't tell you for sure. But anyway, Marco believes that the therapist and Oswald's girlfriend have all along, and in this episode really shows it, I think, they continue to be the weakest characters in the show. All they do is they kind of pop up during some time in the episode. They say a few words and then they wait around, and then you never see them again. And they don't have many lines, and the scenes they're in are really short. And he calls them pitifully short scenes. And so when Sal, remember I said that he was attacked in prison, and I guess Penguin thought that he had put the fix on him and he was going to be killed. And there wasn't any escape. Well, and he got away. Well, Marco knew that was going to happen. And so, Marco wants me to read it verbatim. He says, I was easily able to predict Sal would survive when they quickly cut away from him getting shanked. And he was right. He did survive, like I said, and he was with, Sophia found him. How she found him, I have no idea. And met with them, and I told you that she asked him if he wanted to team up with her against Penguin, which you have. That's what I'm saying. You have so much against Penguin. I just don't know how he's gonna do anything. And then another thing too, before all this with hiding his mother, Victor hiding the mother, and remember he had this purple car. And I thought it really made him stick out like a sore thumb. Well, Oswald set it on fire and it got all burned up. And Marco thought it was unfortunate that he didn't have his purple car anymore, which I don't know. I thought that was a liability. So, but it made him different. Marco's favorite line of the episode was when Oswald was talking about the dead Falcones and says, you didn't like that one guy. Everyone knows he wore lifts in his shoes. So, I'll just say Sophia, and he says this too, she wasn't in much of this episode, but seeing her lay down on the coffin was kind of the telling of her future fate. You know, like a little clue, a little thing that kind of leads you to what can happen in the end. There's a name for it, and I can't think of it, but anyway, Marco's favorite parts of the episode was Victor taking Penguin's mother to that place, saving her, and they had to evade. There was some guy that Victor knew. He said he was a very bad guy, and he put his hood up, and he was really completely hidden. They were pretty far away, but still the guy could see, and he didn't know who the mother was. So he saw the mother being escorted into this building, but nothing happened. So I guess he didn't know who it was. But he liked that, and it was good because it just shows that he's such a caring supportive person who is kind-hearted, but also is trying to be helpful and do what he should do to get along and survive. And that part about Sophia laying down on the coffin, that was another one of Marco's favorite parts, because it was kind of a clue to what her future could be. And let's see if there's anything else that Marco said he would like to see Penguin's TikTok account. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but so he would give this episode an A, and he thinks and believes that this show in particular, and he watches other shows, and he's watched movies too, but if you just want to rank this show amongst all the shows, he says it continues to be the best of the year because of the way they do the characters and how compelling they are. And I agree with them, especially the Penguin. And he did say one more thing, and this is what I don't know. I agree with him, I guess. I don't know where it's going to all go. And maybe because he's more familiar with all the storylines of previous movies. But this one where he takes Victor to this underground subway. Not the subway, but underneath that subway is another, like a sub-basement, where there's a whole, like, it's all cleaned up, it looks like, and there's lights, and there's a generator down there. And then he says, like I talked about earlier, he said, this is our new base of operations, and he's real happy. And like I said, I don't get it, because I don't know how they can set up anything with all the people who are out to get him. So, but Marco said that sets up for setting up the underground base in the final part of the episode is a major part of him, Oswald, becoming the Penguin. So, I will give the episode an A- just because I don't know how. I have no idea how it's going to go. I don't see how it's going to go. But like he said, with like Sophia laying down on a coffin, that usually is some kind of like a hint that they do in any kind of story, anywhere about anybody. They'll do little things. It's a foreshadowing. That's what I was trying to think of what can come up at the end. And so I that's something that you could tell. So, I mean, I just don't know where this is all going to go. And maybe that's a good thing, because then they can do, lots more episodes? In fact, I have no idea how many episodes they're going to do. So, now they've already done 5, and I don't know if it's out there how many they're going to do. Like, are they going to do 8 or 9 or 10? Or 7, I have no idea. But right now, that was episode 5. And like I said, I feel like Penguin's like in a box. And I just don't know what his support, other than Victor, is going to be. And I guess his girlfriend, but like Marco said, his girlfriend and that therapist have such pitifully small roles, where they kind of just show up, and then they say a few words, and you see them on screen for a couple minutes, and then they go away. I mean, I just don't see, and no matter what, I don't know what she could do, his girlfriend, for Penguin, to help him have a base of power. I just don't see it, so I don't know. But that's a good thing, I guess, because we'll see how the person who wrote all these episodes, how they put it all together and make it meaningful in the end. So that's it. I don't think there's anything else to say. I gave the episode an A- just because of the fact that Marco's getting a marker and putting it on paper, and because like I said, I just don't know where it's going to go. I don't see it. How could he have all this power when unless Sophia was just but I don't see it, because you could understand that she's really mad that Oz set her up. Marco says, "Go Penguin." So that's it, everybody, and I'm sorry I'm a poor substitute for Marco. I mean, I'm okay with like doing joint reviews of things, but anyway, this is such a good episode. This is such a good series. I mean, it's still remarkable to me. Time to watch something. Okay, it's just remarkable to me that this actor dresses and his makeup and his limping and I don't know what Marco says, something about time to watch Buffy's silent episode. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So anyway, it's just the actor Colin Farrell has done a tremendous job in every way, and I hope he gets an award or 2 or 3, because he deserves it. And Marco says I don't have a brain. Okay, so anyway, I'll wrap it up because we have to work on dinner, and which is part 2 of our spaghetti. And that's it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and become one of our subscribers. And that's it. So goodbye, everybody.